Alright guys, I'm going to walk you over a 24-25 long block install on a 17 to 19 body style is what we're doing right now. But I can give you the details for the 11 to 19 swap, what's needed and what you got to do. There's a bunch of differences on these long blocks. We've already done several that have run and drove no problem. So I'll walk you over with the parts here. The first thing that's different on these heads is the exhaust, or on these engines, is the heads. The exhaust manifold holes are not straight across. So you gotta have the 24-25 exhaust manifold gaskets. Now the ports are a little smaller on the 24-25 engines to help spool that different style turbo. It's not gonna affect performance, no big deal. Just run it, it'll be fine. You won't notice anything. So on the exhaust manifold gaskets, that's the part number. Now we don't do engine install kits. We just piece it together. It's cheaper and you don't have to waste your money. Now the next thing is this part number. If you guys can get that. That is the cam sensor pigtail. So the cam sensor is different on this engine. See if I can get you guys down low enough. Oh, let's take it off. Alright, so on this engine, the timing cover is actually different. Upper roll pan is different. The hole in the timing cover here is smaller, so you can't just put your old sensor in here without drilling the timing cover out, which I do not advise. You can utilize this sensor. It's a 3-wire sensor, just like your old one, but the wiring is different. Voltage reference stays the same. The other two flip-flop. I'll go over that in detail here in a little bit whenever we install this engine. The oil pan protrudes out a little further right here. That's no big deal. You have to use 24-25 harmonic balancer on here because all the counterweight is on the front of the balancer rather than split 50-50. It's cheap, no big deal. Now you will want to use this 17 up style water pump. You'll just have to plug these if you're going into an 11 to 16 body style. That's no big deal. We keep the plugs here, but I'll show you the part number for those. Another difference here is the upper oil pan's obviously different. Bolt pattern's different for the oil filter housing. So you cannot utilize this oil pressure and oil temp combo sensor. You just throw that away. You'll drill and tap this to 1/4-inch pipe thread, and then screw your old style oil pressure sensor in here. And then this is a dummy hole. So we drill through into the not in the cavity. We drill up from the bottom here, from the oil filter. My bad, I'm moving the camera. Into this cavity, we'll drill and tap this to 3/8 pipe thread, and then your oil temp sensor will go in right here. Now this is, they're controlling the oil pressure on the newer 20 and up engines. If you just leave it unplugged, it's maximum volume, maximum pressure. So just don't worry about that. That's no big deal. Now if you're going into the 11 to 16 body, you will have to drill your engine mounts on the brackets on the old engine. So because these have a bigger bolt. They utilize a bigger bolt. So here you can see the difference in the heads here. No big deal. 11 to 19 intake fits. On the exhaust manifolds, you will use the new style exhaust manifolds, but you'll reuse your old style up pipes and turbo pedestal. So what we have here is the passenger right side manifold, that part number. Now a key difference on this one is the bolt holes are bigger. So you'll have to oversize drill your EGR pipe and then oversize drill your gasket, and it'll fit. And then this is the part number for the driver's side manifold. And then this is the new style balancer. So you'll have this extra pulley, which is where the AC compressor rides on the newer styles. It's just going to float there on your engine. It'll clear the shroud, no big deal. That's the part number. And then If you're going into the older style, like I mentioned, these are your water pump plugs. That's your part number. And then, so this is all everything that you will need for an install. Turbo pedestal gasket. And here is your coolant bridge gasket. And then here are your up pipe gaskets, which there's the part number, kind of hard to see. Load up. Yeah. And then these are your up pipe bolts that go right here. So that's the part number there. And then these are the nuts for the exhaust manifold studs. So the new engines obviously come with all new studs. Your long spacers will go back here. Short spacers on all the other cylinders. You can reuse those. Now in the install kits that come with new ones, you do not have to put new ones on. It's just a steel spacer. It don't wear out. So yeah, there's a part number for those, for the nuts. And then injector kits. We do the injector kits with the bolt, line, and the O-ring and copper washer. It's in here in that little bag. So you'll have 4 cylinders, that'll be this part number. And then 4 cylinders, that will be that part number. So it'll be 2 each part number on each side. And then you'll need your fuel filter kit, which this is a 17 to 19, well, it'd actually be 17 up fuel filter kit. The earlier ones are, they have the round canister filter in the bottom. I don't actually have those right now. But also, you will have to have thermostats, which I just put a kit in here the other day, and I don't have a replacement kit here to show you. But so that is pretty much everything to put this engine in any body style truck. So, but here in a little bit we'll go over the cam sensor wiring. We'll be very specific, show you guys up close which wires swap around, and then we'll take the oil filter housing off, drill it out, show you guys to drill up through the bottom and what to pay attention for on that. And then we'll do the install on the manifolds, but the rest of it is all pretty self-explanatory. Alright, so the first thing I like to do is go ahead and get the exhaust manifolds on. The reason I like to do that is so them open ports are not exposed anymore. So here is the spacers, the sleeves. Remember, long ones go in the back. And these are obviously used to rusty. So these all get torqued 13 foot-pounds and then 18 foot-pounds. Another key thing to know with these 23 to 25 engines is that with these newer style exhaust manifolds, your old heat shields will still work. On this one, it will just be, it'll have an extra bolt, it just won't be on the manifold. So you'll have a spare bolt in case you broke one. Yeah, it's this one up here underneath this intake horn. That's the one that's not there. Now I'm going to install my old up pipes to show you guys that they fit no problem. Snap-on impacts just don't have what the Milwaukees have. The new up pipe gaskets. And my old used up pipes. I need to clean that off. I'm just using a, this one's pretty wore out, but a little bristle brush cleaner. I get them at the auto parts store. They're really good about getting them gas material off and not messing up the metal. Alright, so you want to get these just barely snug to where you can move them around. That way when you drop your turbo on, you can have just a little bit of movement here to get them seated correctly. So now I'm going to go grab the turbo, get it ready for install. You want to be careful with this gasket because it is a razor blade. It will cut the absolute shit out of you. Just like that. Now a engine install kit will come with new turbo pedestal bolts. They're not needed. So. So on these, we just go with what feels good. I don't remember the exact torque spec, but it's tight. Okay. These ends. Now on this bottom one, you will want to, let me see if I can get you guys over here. Whoa. Face it like that. Now your downpipe will bolt on right here and come in around. It'll clear this. Don't put it any other way because it makes it for a pain if you ever got to take turbo off in the future with the cab on, because you can just go take the downpipe out or take the inner fender out, take the downpipe out, and you can get right to it from the inner fender instead of trying to finagle up to the top. Much simpler in the future. So now we'll go ahead and tighten these up. I just go by the feel on those. So everything's done back here until we get the engine in. Well, not really in, but oh, I forgot to mention another key part of the 23 to 25 installs. You reuse your old reluctor ring. And also the crankshaft position sensor is different on 20 up because the plug is different. Now don't try to rewire it. Your old sensor will fit right in there and bolt in. So that's no big deal. So you just reuse this tray, swap your sensor out, reuse your old reluctor ring, which the new ones don't come with one, so obviously you gotta reuse it, and then reuse your old flex plate. And you can reuse your flex plate bolts. The install kit will come with new ones. We don't ever put new ones on. So same with the balancer. Install kit will come with new balancer bolts. We just reuse the old ones. Now I'll go back up here. So I've actually got a DCR kit for this one. So I'm going to install it now since it's a lot simpler to do with the engine just sitting here. And then we'll do the coolant bridge and fuel lines, fuel rails, injectors off. I will go ahead and install the balancer now before I do the DCR. That way I can turn the engine over a little easier. And I'm not going to go into detail on a DCR install because that's in one of my other YouTube videos, and it's not needed to put this new engine into an older chassis. But it is I would highly suggest to install it. It's no big deal other than a couple grand. But I'm gonna put you guys in time lapse to do this real quick. All right, so yesterday I got the fuel system on, the coolant bridge on, fuel rails, injectors. I didn't actually video that because the camera died. Didn't realize it, but that's no big deal. That's pretty standard stuff. So that's nothing specific for 23 to 25 swap an older vehicle. But this is your old flex plate. And your old reluctor wheel here. Now you always want to, see if I can get this, clean this off. Actually, this one's broken, so we'll have to replace this one. So these are really, this one's actually really badly broken, but some of them are have hairline cracks in them. This one is way past that, but if they have hairline cracks, replace it. Alright, so the reluctor ring that was in this engine was trash, and I had another core engine up in the woods, and its reluctor ring was cracked. So I used to keep them in stock. Apparently I forgot to order an extra last time I used one. So it'll be next week we'll get another reluctor ring in, then we'll finish on the install. But I'll go ahead and swap out the crank sensor and the engine mounts, and then that's pretty much all I can do. So here's the 20 and up crank sensor. You can see it's more flatter. And there's the old style crank sensor. These will just swap around, no big deal. Alright, so I just got a tone ring in. That's the part number for them. They're just under 300 bucks my cost. I think the list is like 400. But we usually keep these in stock, but we've been going through these a bunch on trucks that pull transmissions out. We always check these tone rings. They're not supposed to have any cracks, which this one was all broken. But we'll get this put on, and then I'm going to show you guys how to do the cam wiring real quick. Alright, so here's the cam pigtail. I like to strip the wire, not the wire, strip this black tape up to this zip tie. And I'll cut 3 different lengths here. I'll put you guys on time lapse. Okay, so here we have the sheathing stripped back to this zip tie bracket. Now this blue and white wire is your voltage reference. This stays the same. So as the cam sensor is plugged in, the closest one to the bouncer stays the same. Now these two, the green with white stripe and the green with, or the white with green stripe, flip these. So instead of the green with white stripe going to this one, it'll be the white with green stripe. And then this one will be the green with white stripe. So just follow through here and I'll show you guys how I do this. So I always just kind of start that in there, plug this one in. You don't want no extra wire down here to interfere with the belt or the balancer here. Pull these up. This one will get cut right there. Let me get my snips. Make life a little easier. So I always do the voltage reference first. That way you don't get confused. That's how these go. Don't forget to put your sheath over. I don't have my crack pipe torch here, so the lighter it is. Okay, there's your voltage reference. So now you just swap the other two. And I made the cut here on the voltage reference, so the next one I'll cut like right here, and the next one I'll cut way down here. That way you space out that heat shrink, the splice junctions there. So now I'll do, oh shit, didn't even bump that. Cut this one right there. Almost messed up there. And what I like to use is this cloth Tessa tape. Seems to work the best. More professional looking than black tape. I did cut that white wire just a smidge short, but it'll work out because I cut them all extra long anyway. And there we have it. Tucked in there, plenty far enough away from the belt. Alright guys, what we have here is the 23 to 25 oil filter housing. You want to go ahead and remove this O-ring gasket. We're going to remove this oil pressure and temp combo sensor. Throw it in the trash, don't need it. Or like me, I save them. Got a whole pile of them on the shelf. We're going to drill and thread this to 1/4 inch pipe thread. So let's go ahead and get with that. forget which one I use. I think it's this one. I like to use reamers because they kind of follow the contour of the pipe thread taps. And that's a 9/16 reamer. I think that's the size I normally use. Yep. So 9/16 reamer works perfectly for going to 1/4 inch pipe thread. Run a little bit more in there. So here's the sensors that we have. This is your oil temp. This is for 17 to 19, 3/8 pipe thread. And this one is your oil pressure, 17 to 19. It's the 1/4 inch pipe thread. Now normally I don't do new sensors, but just for this video, I'm going to do them. But I'm not going to put those in yet because I got to flush this out. Almost got ahead of myself. So on this one, we're not going to actually drill through. We're going to drill from in here to this cavity. See if I can get you guys in here a little better. So drilling through where the oil filter spins on to get into here. Which this will be 3/8 pipe thread. I think I need to ream that out. So. Yep. So this will be a 5/8 drill bit. Not going to go too much right there. Just trying to make the hole more round because they're casted from the factory and they're not very round. It'll bind up your bit. without going too far, you can buy these new from Ford, no big deal. Try to get her started on the correct path here. You always want to use penetrating oil while you're tapping aluminum. It makes the threads cleaner rather than all galled up. Death on my ears there. I run this tap pretty far in there, and the reason why is because you want that sensor, this oil temp sensor, to be in there pretty close to this nut. That way your engine cross member gives you, it's like right here, so it gives you enough room to get this pigtail snuck in there and plugged in. But if you got it sticking too far out, you're going to have issues trying to plug that in. Okay. Now we're going to drill the path hole here. I need to undo that. Alright, there we go. Alright, so right here is where the oil temp's going to go. We're going to drill, let's see if we can fit here. We're going to drill basically right up in there in that flat spot. Right up in there. Now it's best just to drill a small hole center right there. Try not to get too far over to that edge or this edge on this lip, because then it's going to be a pain to drill a little bigger. So just drill centered right in there, and then you'll punch through right there. But don't drill too far. Once you punch through, that's good. If you drill too far, you punch through this one and punch that other, punch a hole in the back of that cavity or punch into this other oil channel, just throw this away. There's my pilot hole, and I'm going to step it up probably to this size here. Yep. That pilot hole is just an 1/8 inch drill bit. See if I can see where, so you can kind of see up in there, you can see where my drill bit kind of run that wall right there. There's where the hole's at. See, dead center in that channel in there. Not too close to either wall. But with that drill bit, it is a 5/16, it's pretty much wall to wall in there. Now, obviously, oil isn't going to be flowing over that sensor tip. The oil's not going to be flowing over to this to get a perfect read, but the oil in here will be spinning and it'll be moving around like crazy. So that little path right there is close enough to that moving oil. It will move around. It'll read correct. No big deal. But so now we're going to go ahead and thread them back on, and then this is ready to be put back on. But like I said, I like to run this one pretty much all the way in, just so you don't have issues with that engine cross member. And if you can, point the detent up, that way it makes it simpler to unplug and plug it in. That's pretty much the max out I would allow. That's like an 1/8 inch or so. So. Well, you shit. Alright, now you have a 20 and up, 11 and 19 style. So we'll put that O-ring back on, bolt this back onto the block, get the oil filter threaded on, and, well, fill the oil filter, because a brand new engine doesn't come with the oil filter filled. So pre-fill the filter, screw it on, fill the engine, fire it up. Alright, so I wasn't going to film this, but I decided to go ahead and do it. So right here is the cross member. So, I mean, you got a little bit of gap there. So we'll go ahead and plug this in. Shit. But, see there? That's what I was saying. I mean, that's the maximum gap. The closer you can get it, the better. There you go. That's it. Get that in a little further.